Hello, my name is Joe, and I am new to Booktube. You might have seen me before, but I'm also on Bookstagram and Book Talk. But if you haven't seen me before, I'm going to be doing the Booktube Newbie Tag so you can get to know me. Let's get into it. Why did you start this channel? Because TikTok was getting banned. That's what gave me the motivation to actually start this channel, like to actually create it. But I also really just wanted a place where I could yap. I'm someone who loves to talk. I could talk for hours and hours and hours, especially about the books that I'm loving and the books that I'm reading. And I wanted a space where I wasn't confined to how long I could talk for. For example, Instagram only allows for like 3 minutes, which is better than what they used to have, which I think was like a minute and a half. But let's be real, I need more time than that. And I know YouTube Shorts allows for 3 minutes as well, which is cool, but if I want to do more of these long form type videos, I'm gonna need like 10 minutes plus. One thing about me is that I can literally talk about anything. You could be like, hey Joe, tell me about the 2007 housing crisis, and I could be talking for like an hour. I'd be going like this. I've always wanted to dive into longer form content, but I was always hesitant to actually do it, especially because YouTube isn't the easiest platform to grow on. Also, I hate editing. The thought of having to edit a video that's like 1 hour of raw footage makes me anxious. So we'll see how this goes. What are some fun and unique things that you can bring to BookTube? Um, so a little fun fact about me is that I hate to be perceived, which makes it really confusing why I'm starting a YouTube channel. I know, I'm an enigma. I don't really know. I don't know. But I would say the unique things I can bring to BookTube are sarcasm and a little bit of humor. I like to kiki with the girls and I like to laugh. And hopefully, maybe I'll make you laugh. Also, if you for some reason don't think I'm funny, please don't tell me. I don't want to know. As Otto Hightower said in season 2 of House of the Dragon, I don't wish to hear of it. If that happens to be the correct quote. If it's not, well then, what are you most excited for about this new channel? Like I said earlier, I'm really excited to make longer form content. For example, when I do book reviews on TikTok, the videos themselves are usually between 1 and 3 minutes. I'm really excited to deep dive the books I'm reading and analyze them more. Like I've said, I'm a yapper. Imagine I make a Power List by Lauren Roberts review and it's just me talking shit about that book for like 30 minutes. Iconic. Also, for people who don't know, I really don't like that book. Why do you love reading? If I'm gonna be honest, I just like having a hobby. I think everyone should have hobbies. I feel like life can get too real sometimes, and hobbies allow you to decompress, relax, and find joy in the little things, especially when the world can be very bleak. I'm also someone who loves having a schedule. I usually read for like an hour in the morning and an hour at night before I go to bed. Knowing that I have like a set reading plan gives me like the biggest dopamine rush. I also really like reading stories where I can fully immerse myself into that world and disconnect from the real world. What book or series got you into reading? So, fun fact about me is that I despised reading as a kid. I'm a Taurus, which means I'm really stubborn. So, when I was younger and like my parents or like teachers would try to force me to read, I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And because they wanted me to read so badly, I just didn't out of spite. Icon behavior. When I was 14 and I think a freshman in high school, I read the Hunger Games series by Suzanne Collins. Everyone knows that series, iconic. I remember the first movie was about to be released and my friend Emily was reading the series. I wanted to read the book before I saw the movie, so she lent me the book. And naturally, I devoured it in one day. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. Like, what do you expect? Suzanne Collins wrote a banger. I then picked up books 2 and 3 and read those just as quickly. And I've been reading consistently ever since. So I think that makes it like 13 plus years of consistent reading from me. Slay. Period. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Okay, so another fun fact about me is that I was really never on booktube until now. So I guess I would ask them, what do you use to record these videos? Right now, I'm using my iPhone 16 Pro Max, and it's like the front-facing camera cinematic mode or whatever. Also, what's your preferred editing software? Like, I luckily still have CapCut on my computer, but if or when that goes away, what are we using? I would prefer something free. This YouTube channel does not have a budget. The budget is 0. There's no money here. We are poor. If you happen to know software that fits that criteria, please drop it in the comments. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? Once again, the editing. I hate editing. And without editing, you're not gonna have a video. If only I could record the video and then they just magically edit themselves. Literally the power I would have. But also like imposter syndrome. Like I feel like I'm gonna have to fight off the thoughts that like people don't care what I have to say, people don't want to see my face, they find me annoying, they don't want me here, go back to where you came from. You know, all those things that we all have to deal with. When did you start reading? When I was 2. Just kidding, but I do actually have a really funny story about this. When I was a child, I had a lot of ear infections, which my parents did not know about at the time. I didn't really talk a lot as a small kid, I was very nonverbal, kind of iconic, and I wasn't learning words at the rate I should have. And that's because I literally could not hear anyone talk. Which is actually kind of funny. Anyways, once I got tested and they figured that out, I got tubes in my ears and then I was fine. Dang, I really went off on a tangent, didn't I? What was the question again? All right, when did I start reading? Once again, when I was 14 and I finally picked up The Hunger Games. Where do you read? 99% of the time, I am reading in my room, especially when I'm in bed and it is dark, the lights are off. I also like it really quiet. I really can't focus on a book if there is like a bunch of noises happening around me. So I know like some people like to read like in a park or like in a coffee shop. That can't be me. I will say I do listen to audiobooks though, especially when I'm like driving in my car or going on a walk. What kind of books do you like to read? Fantasy is my preferred genre for sure, but I also dabble in a little romance, a little romantasy, a little fiction. I don't really read nonfiction as much just because she's boring, lol, jk, unless. No, but for real, I really like fantasy books that have really large developed worlds. I like main characters that are flawed but really badass at the same time. The writing needs to be really good or else it gets distracting. I love when a fantasy book has a large cast of characters. And I know this is going to be controversial, but I really like when we have a lot of POVs and we're constantly switching between them. I prefer third person, but I could also read first person. It really depends on the book. When I'm reading romance, I want the two characters to have a lot of chemistry. And the romance itself needs to be slow burn. I hate instant love. I think it just cheapens the entire story. What does your book collection look like? So I have roughly 700 books in my book collection. I think it's a little less. So close to a library, which I'm hearing is 1,000 books. I only know this because I keep track of all the books I own with a spreadsheet. And in that spreadsheet, I have all of the books cataloged. I have a lot of charts and graphs and I'm obsessed with it. My collection is mostly made up of fantasy books. I mean, it is my preferred reading genre after all. But I also have romance, science fiction, normal fiction, and I'm sure many more genres I'm forgetting. When you break that down even more, most of my books are hardbacks. Yes, they're more expensive, but they last longer. And they also look better on bookshelves. I like paperbacks, but I don't like how you can ruin them in 5 seconds. Like, that's just $20 down the drain for me. I just don't like that it's like a waste of money, especially when you could pay like $10 more and get a book that's going to last so much longer. A lot of the books that I own happen to be special editions. So they have sprayed edges, artwork in the book, foiling on the naked hardback. And a lot of these come from book companies like Fairy Loot, Illumicrate, The Broken Binding, Owl Crate. I mostly focus on buying books that spark my interests, but also at the same time, books that are aesthetically pleasing. Books serve multiple purposes for me, like it's a hobby and it's something that I'm reading, but they're also something that can be displayed like an art piece. It's like decor for the home. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. If there's anything else you want to know about me, please let me know in the comments. And if there are any other types of videos you want to see from me, also let me know. Please share, like, subscribe, whatever else you do on YouTube, I don't really know. And see you in the next video.